Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 2 of the AMS F1 World Championship here in Interlagos, Brazil. Now, after the controversy of the last race in the USA, namely the collisions between Nigel Mansell's Williams and Satoru Nakajima's Tyrrell Honda, and the collision between Sly Sinful and Satoru Nakajima, the F1 governing body, AMS, has ruled both a racing incident, despite Ferrari issuing a complaint over Mansell's driving that they feel caused both collisions. Ferrari have issued an objection to the ruling, which we believe should be heard in a few weeks' time. Right, now that that's all over with, let's move on to qualifying for today's Grand Prix, shall we? Another good showing by Sly Sinful as he puts his Ferrari on pole for the second time this year, but only just as Patrese put in a time just 1/10 of a second behind him. A young Michael Schumacher put in a very respectable time to put his Benetton Ford on the second row of the grid, and only beating Alain Prost in the second Ferrari by the tiniest of margins, a whopping 0.08 of a second. Golly. Senna has qualified in 5th in his McLaren. Watch for him to move up the order in his home Grand Prix today. And we have Piquet rounding out the top 6 in the second of the Benettons. Berger sits behind his teammate on the grid in 7th. Not a good day for Nigel Mansell, as you can see he could only manage 8th place on Saturday. And then in the remaining places we have Modena in 9th, Brundle in 10th, Hakkinen 11th, and teammate Julian Belle in 12th. We have Blundell in 13th, Johansson in 14th, Capelle in 15th, Gujomi in 16th, Boutsen in 17th, and Martinez in 18th. De Cesaris is 19th and Nakajima 20th. Eric Comar managed 21st with Morbidelli beside him in 22nd. And bringing up the rear, we have Gachot in 23rd and last. Right, now that that's all out of the way, I believe they're ready to start, so let's head down to the track, shall we? Okay, and they're all lined up on the grid for the start of the race. It's lights out and away we go. Not the best start by Sinful, but he manages to stay ahead of Patrese going into the first turn. Looks like everybody is getting through cleanly though, as we head on to the second straight. Patrese taking a good look up the inside, but he's just not close enough to make a dive on Sinful as they head nose to tail into the bold section for the first time. Well, they're all bunching up now as they head through this S section. Now with Mansell, who has already managed to make up one position, he's up to 7th. He's tied up behind the tailpipe of Senna now as they come through the corner and out onto the front stretch. Is he going to be able to make a move on the long sweeping front straight? He moves to the inside of Senna as Senna is trying to move on the outside of Piquet. But Piquet moves out wide, shutting off Senna's route, leaving Mansell to dive down the inside into turn 1. Mansell is ready on a charge here, if only he had this speed in qualifying. Maybe he'd be leading. Prost now trying to move on Patrese as they're heading towards turn 4. He's alongside him, but oh my word, they've touched. Patrese giving absolutely no quarter here to that. Prost gathers it up nicely. Let's hope there's no damage to his car this early on in the race. Here's Senna, having got past Piquet it seems. He is now hot on the tail of Mansell. He wants that spot back. It is his home Grand Prix after all, so he wants the good result for the Brazilian fans. But through turns 10 and 11 now, he's hard on Mansell's tail. Out to the final corner, and it's hammered down as it tries to get run on Mansell. In Mansell's slipstream, he pulls out, but I think it was too soon, and he doesn't have the speed of the Williams, and has to tuck back in for the first turn. Tight behind Mansell, going through 1, 2 and 3. Can he make a move into 4? But if I know Senna, and I certainly don't, he won't be giving up any time soon. He pulls out. Can he outbrake Mansell? No. Oh, what's this? Berger and Piquet have touched going into turn 4. Berger is off the track, but he's managed to gather it up and not lose any places. He does seem to hold Hakkinen the Lotus up there. Fighting for 7th to fighting to keep 8th in a blink of an eye there for Berger. Now, as he has Hakkinen breathing down his neck to contend with. Hakkinen is easily keeping up with that McLaren. Let's hope Berger didn't damage the car in that little tussle with Piquet. As we head out onto the final turn now, has the Lotus got anything to get past Berger? Tight in his slipstream, surely he can get him in going into turn 1, but no, he has a look but thinks better of it. Was that a missed opportunity by Hakkinen there? Back with Senna and Mansell fight now, it's right up Mansell's rear end. He dives out from behind Mansell, but I don't think he's close enough to get the move done. Mansell goes defensive, but Senna wasn't there. Senna could be trying to get Mansell to make a mistake so he can pounce. He always seems to be 2 steps ahead of the competition. And that sort of thinking is what made him a multiple world champion, I'm sure. Under braking, it seems Senna has Mansell's number. But that Williams is a little too sprightly for the McLaren Honda on the straights. Senna taking a different line along the front stretch and so not in Mansell's slipstream to get close enough. At turn 1, it seems madness to me, but I'm sure Senna knows what he's doing. Again, Senna able to close the gap on Mansell in the braking. Not sure if he's going to be close enough to make a move into 4. But he has a look again and Mansell goes defensive, and again Senna tucks back in. Is Senna playing with Mansell, or is that Renault Williams just a little too much for Senna's McLaren? Back with the leaders now, and Sinful has managed so far to keep his Ferrari ahead of Tracy. They seem to have pulled a small gap on Prost in 3rd. I think Tracy is just biding his time, thinking that the rookie is going to make a mistake. That Ferrari certainly has the legs over the Williams on that front stretch. Back with Mansell now, and it seems he has finally broken away from Senna as he looks to the inside of Schumacher for 4th, and the move is all but done as they head into turn 1. Schumacher is not giving up though, and Senna is wondering if he can have a go at Schumacher going into turn 4. But no, they all stay the same as they go through the turn nose to tail. Mansell is already pulling away from the Benetton as Senna takes a wider entrance to turn 6. Again, I think Mansell's braking is allowing them to stay nose to chuff through 8, 9 and 10. Coming out of 12 now, I don't think Senna is close enough to Schumacher to make any sort of move down the front straight. But it looks like the power of that Honda is going to prove me wrong, as Senna, still taking that odd line through 15, seems to have made it work for him as they plunge into turn 1 side by side. A slight tap of the wheel there, and Senna is past and up into 5th. Schumacher hasn't held him up at all, and he's back on Mansell's tail. Again, Senna pulls out of the slipstream, but he still can't get the move done going into turn 4. It's a lot closer to Mansell now, but so is Schumacher, and he wants his places back. It seems the 3 of them are closing the gap to Prost in 3rd. It's been a jolly good run by Mansell today, from 8th on the grid to 4th so far, and we're only nearly halfway. I really believe that Mansell has the best race pace of anyone today. It's such a shame this pace wasn't there yesterday. Senna still taking that odd line, but he has got a run on Mansell. He has a big look, but oh no, he just can't make it happen. The fans really thought that this was the one. Oh, is that a Jordan round at the exit of turn 1? It's the Cesaris. Let's take a look at the replay of what happened. It's the Cesaris, Bailey and Morbidelli in a row. Bailey pulls to the inside hard on the brakes, and Bailey runs wide into the Cesaris. Oh, and as he comes back, he fails to see Morbidelli, who turns him around, and Morbidelli gets a punt out of the chuff from Gasher for good measure. Thankfully, Morbidelli is able to get going again, albeit a few places down. Okay, now back to the action. I wonder if Sinfield had flashes of 2 weeks ago at Long Beach when a spun car ended his race. Anyway, Hakkinen is certainly not thinking about any spun car as he hounds the back of Berger's McLaren. Coming out of 15 and he's tight up Berger's exhaust. Can he get him into turn 1? Oh no, not close enough to make the move, but certainly close enough to see what Berger had for breakfast. Out of 3, and does that Lotus have anything for the McLaren? I think it's safe to say that's a jolly big no from Berger. As they come up on the now moving De Cesaris, will he play a factor in this fight? No, he manages to get out of the way of them nicely, holding neither of them up. Top marks, that man. Hakkinen can stay with Berger through turns 8, 9 and 10, but will he get a good enough run out of 12 to get a run on Berger down the front straight? Well, we're about to find out as they exit turn 13. Hakkinen is certainly close enough to Berger's slipstream, but can he do anything with it? He ducks out, but I don't think he has enough overspeed to make a move into 1, and he just tucks in behind Berger. I think the top speed of that Lotus is really letting him down here today. And now we're back with the Senna-Mansell fight. Senna has a look, but oh no, they've touched wheels, and Senna is round. He manages to gather it up, but he loses a place to Schumacher. Oh, that's 2 collisions in 2 races for Mansell, and thankfully, this time there seems to be no damage done. Except for the fans' hope of a Senna podium, of course. Senna's car looks okay, but I'm sure he's just boiling with rage after that incident. And now we join the Bailey-Brundle fight for 17. Really? Okay, well, it's a battle of the Brits as we come through the S's, but it looks more like a fight between Bailey in the Lotus and Gugelmi in the Leighton House. He's really knocking on the back door now as they head into turn 12. And as they come out of 13, Bailey must have a run. He has a look down the inside, but surprisingly can't get the move done. Bailey not having a good day as his teammate Hakkinen. And now as they come out of 3, and we see a car coming out of the pits, can Bailey make a move into turn 4? Oh no, they've touched wheels as well, and Bailey has to back off to keep it out of the wall. What is it with that corner today? That's Patrese heading into the pits to make his one and only stop for today. But Sinful, it seems, has decided to carry on. Does Sinful think the overcut is going to help him here, or has Williams pit Patrese early in the hope that the fresh tyres will enable him to jump Sinful in the pit stops? Only time will tell. Berger diving into the pits as we see Patrese, Mansell and Prost coming out. Let's see if this has worked in Patrese's favour. As we focus on Mansell, who has managed to catch up to the back of Prost while we were watching the battle for 17. Prost taking a defensive line down the straight, and as they head into turn 4 there is nothing between them. Can Prost drive defensively and keep the hard charging Williams of Mansell behind him, or is Mansell going to pip him for 3rd? Heading into 8 and 9 now, and there is still nothing between them. Into 12, and Prost takes the defensive line now. Coming out to 15, and they're almost touching. As we cut away to Sinful, who is just coming out of the pits. And he's still the leader, so Ferrari's idea of the overcut has worked, and Sinful is out ahead of Patrese, and he seems to have a bit of a gap. Let's hope he can keep it and bring it home for his maiden win. And as we see in the background, Mansell has indeed got past Prost for 3rd. As Prost, now never one to give up, has a look, but is nowhere near close enough to make a move on Mansell. Now let's go back and take a look at the overtake, shall we? Both drivers' engines screaming as they come through turn 15, not a cigarette paper between them. Mansell dives down the inside and gets the move done before the exit of turn 1 with only the slightest of wheel taps. Excellent stuff. Back with Sinful now as he tries to just bring his Ferrari home in 1st place. Patrese 3.5 seconds back, but not giving up on the win just yet. Does he have enough of it? And as we move to Hakkinen and Modena duking it out for 8th place. As they come out to 14, Hakkinen has a run on the Tyrrell. He pulls to the inside of turn 15 and now side by side on the straight. And Hakkinen has the move done and is up to 8th place before the start of turn 1. Now I'm sure Modena would love to stay in his slipstream and get the place back going into turn 4. but I don't think that the Tyrrell has it in it. And as they're going into turn 4, Modena is just not close enough. I think that's job done for Hakkinen. But Prost, it seems, is not done with Mansell as they continue to fight for 3rd place. Just a few laps ago, the roles were reversed. Now can Prost do the same to Mansell? Not as close as he's like going into turn 12, but we've seen moves done from further back. And as they head into the front straight, Mansell has managed to pull enough of a gap to make him dive from Prost going into turn 1, where it's stupid and impossible. Prost puts his car in Mansell's mirrors, but is no threat going into turn 1. Tracer now, and he's managed to pull the gap down 2.2 seconds as he heads into turn 4. Is there enough laps left? Patricia certainly thinks so, and at the rate of speed he's catching Sinful, I think he might be right. And Senna, all the way back in 11th. Not the dare here all the fans wanted to see. Such a shame, as it really seemed that the Brazilian was going to charge up the order and grab a podium today. But I guess it just wasn't meant to be. What a rotten shame. His teammate is having a better day, but is still out for the points as Berger is hunting down the Benetton of Schumacher in 6th. This is not a familiar place for the McLaren team to be out of the points, and I'm sure the team principal is going to be knocking a few heads together to get the current poor run of form sorted. Unfortunately, I think the time is not on Berger's side, as he's not catching Schumacher fast enough for the laps that are left. And just up ahead, we have the Mansell-Prost fight. Mansell not able to break away from the Ferrari, as Prost is saying, "I'm going nowhere, jump." I really do think the cars this year are some of the prettiest to look at. Of course, not as pretty as the ones that I drove, but still jolly well nice to look at. Mansell can pull a gap on Prost on the straights, but Prost gains it all back in the braking zones. A jolly good back and forth this. Prost just pulling out to fill Mansell's mirrors with red Ferrari to say, "I'm still here and I'm not giving up." Okay, up front with Patrese, and he's closed the gap to just under a second now. Can Sinful hang on for the win? And how has Patrese closed the gap? I wonder, does Sinful have a problem with his Ferrari, or has his inexperience shone through when he's backed off too much? So many questions. I hope we will get the answers very soon, as there are only 3 laps to go now. Oh, and we've cut to Blundell, who's in 12th. Does he have an issue? Is that why we're seeing him? Doesn't look like it. There must be someone in the pits, as it's showing Blundell in 11th now. And we see Boutsan, who's a few seconds behind him, in 12th. And further down the order, as we see the Guzmi Bele fight for 16th, is still raging on. A good fight is a good fight no matter what place it's for, eh, what? Here's Bele finally going to get the move done as they head out onto the front straight. A slight coming together, but Bailey does indeed have the move done. and as they pass a slow Cesaris, the overtake has brought Brundle into the fight as Gugelmin has a long look into turn 4, but no one is close enough to make a move, and they all fall back in line. It looks like the Leyden House was indeed holding up the Lotus, as Gugelmin is now under pressure from Brundle in the Brabham. Was there a touch there? They certainly were close enough. Flat out now through the last few corners. Is Brundle going to make a move on the front straight? He's right on Gugelmin's draft, but it seems like he hasn't the power to get the job done. So on this fight goes. Back with the leaders now, and this fight is really hotted up. Tracy right behind Sinful now, and as they start this final lap, V thinks about a move going into turn 1 but backs off. Maybe he's lining Sinful up for a move on the second straight. Coming up on a few back markers, let's hope they get out of the way and don't affect the outcome of this race. Mansell is closed up, and he wants a shot of the win too, it seems. Sinful looks to be struggling with his tyres as they all manage to get past his static Tyrrell. Last few corners now, and there's the win in sight for Sinful. But Tracy has other ideas and he wants to take the checkered flag for himself. Into turn 12 now, but Tracy isn't close enough, I think. Oh, get out of the way, back marker. Patrese is right on his tail, but I think he's going to do it. He has! He has only gone and won his first Grand Prix in only his second start in Formula 1. Wow, history in the making, and you saw it here first, folks. Jolly well done to Sinful and the Ferrari team. Wow, and Patrese in second and Mansell in third. A nice double podium there for Williams. I'm sure they would have loved the win, but... And there you have the final results. Sinful takes an astonishing and well-deserved first place, fighting off a late onslaught by Patrese, who comes home in second. A hard-charging Mansell in third, making it a nice points haul for Williams. Prost brings his Ferrari home in fourth, and the Benettons of Piquet and Schumacher in fifth and sixth. Patrese also picking up fastest lap of the race, no surprises there. And now we have the championship points table. Mansell's third place has kept him in the lead, but Sinful's win has put him in joint second with Patrese. With Piquet in fourth and Prost in fifth, Bailey in sixth, and Schumacher's first points brings him to joint seventh with world champion Ayrton Senna, who has had a really terrible start to this year's campaign. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed watching Sly Sinful grab his maiden victory here in Brazil, and I sincerely hope you will join me for the next round of the AMS Formula 1 World Championship, which is the San Marino Grand Prix at Imola. So, I hope to see you then. Take care, and goodbye for now.